Hi, I'm Kaylin and I'm co-founder of the Golden Flow system of accelerated well-being and abundance, so you can call me your abundance coach. Today, as always, I am joined by my owl Oberon, but he brought his friend Ocean along. That's because Ocean wanted to talk to Oberon and I about getting out of the rat race. You see, Ocean is thinking about creating his own entrepreneurial business, and he had a really important question. Ocean wants to know if he can do what he loves and make money at it or not. Now, the reason for Ocean's question is because there are some very good gurus out there in marketing who say that no, you cannot do whatever you want. If Ocean wants to make a business of cleaning his own feathers because he loves cleaning his own feathers, it doesn't mean that you and I will pay for that. Maybe we will if we want to learn how owls clean their feathers. Maybe we won't. So Ocean, is curious about this and he wanted some clarification. It's true, there does need to be a market out there. However, at the same time, there is something. You have a gift within you. There is something that you can do that you absolutely love to do. As a matter of fact, not only is that what you're best at doing, but more importantly, when you're an entrepreneur, you recognize a few things, some of the signs of being an entrepreneur. One is that you work all the time. Because for entrepreneurs, we're not on payroll or anything like that, so we don't clock out. We can work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. There's no such thing in a way as vacations because they're always working vacations. They're always working dinners. We're always thinking about our business. You could say that we're borderline obsessed because when we are doing what we love, we're thinking about it all of the time. One of the things that I say is a marker of a true entrepreneur is someone who goes on and on whether or not you're listening. Sometimes they don't care whether or not you're listening. They just like having someone who seems to be listening as they rant and rave. Not anything like myself, right? So that marks them though. They just love talking about it. An entrepreneur that is really passionate about what they do, they would almost pay you to get to do it. And it doesn't quite work that way, and we all have to make some money, attract some money, but that's how much they love doing what they do. They're pretty much going to do it no matter what. So when you're an entrepreneur, you have to have some of that drive because you are going to work very hard. You are going to put in a lot of hours, especially the first couple of years when you're getting your business up and going, and therefore you better really love what you do. You better be passionate about it. One of the key words I talk about is being dedicated. Now this is a word that came to me through my guidance, but they use it instead of the word job or business. They say that you really want to do something that you're going to dedicate yourself to. Whether you're a homemaker, a dedicated homemaker, or whether you are some sort of mass producer, whether you offer a service or a product, it doesn't matter if you have a business empire or you're dedicated to your home. It's something that you're dedicating your life to. One thing about that is that spiritual or conscious entrepreneurs then change some of that rat race game. You see, when you are conscious that way and you're putting a spiritual bend on your entrepreneurial business, one of the things that happens is it's not a business exactly, it's not a job exactly, but it is a dedication. You are dedicated to this part of life. So for example, let's say that Ocean here is dedicated to finding shells on the beach. If Ocean really is all about shells and so dedicated to combing the beaches and then, making the shells available for sale, Ocean's just going to do that kind of come hell or high water kind of thing. That's going to be far easier to turn into a business. The truth is, if there's something that you are so passionate about that you qualify for someone who goes on nonstop, who people kind of look and go, oh my God, you've been talking about that for, an hour now. Someone who would almost pay other people to get to do things like comb the beach for shells. Then at that point, chances are pretty good that you will find people out there who would pay you for those shells kind of thing. Now, I'm not saying that you're going to be able to build a huge empire and become a multi-millionaire. Maybe you can, maybe you can't. A lot of that is really going to depend on some other things. Some of it is the need for it in the market, how much demand there is. Some of it is also whether or not you're really good at running a business, because you have to be a good leader if you're an entrepreneur. You have to have good systems in place, and you certainly have to have your marketing in place, which is one of the things that I like to help people with as a marketing strategist. So those are certainly important. But if you look at something that's really key, which is how you define success or abundance, well, that starts to change everything. Because you see, my friend Ocean here, he may not need to make $1 million. He may not be interested in making $1 million, or he might. It's a good question. And there are some people who make a lot of money at the craziest things. For example, I recently heard of a business that its service is hugs. You come and you get held for a half hour or an hour session, whatever it is. I mean, talk about an easy service. And they're doing really well. I think they're expanding. In Japan, they have services like this, where you can kind of go and have a friend, have someone to talk to. I guess it's sort of like a personal coach, but at a different level, in restaurants and bars kind of thing. So the point is, there are crazy things that you can make a lot of money at. There are some really solid seeming things that you don't make money at. Some of it has a lot to do with you and whether or not you can really make it work. Like I said, are you a good leader? Are you good at the systems? Those kinds of things. Are you good at hiring people? Because you're going to need really good people to run things for you, because you can't do everything, kind of thing. So these are important questions that affect the person who wants to make $1 million. On the other hand, if Ocean has very simple needs and doesn't need to make a ton of money, and of course simple needs is all relative and defined by you, just like success should be defined by you, then maybe my friend Ocean here only needs to sell a few shells, or only needs to sell a few hundred, and can build a website and sell a few hundred and be very comfortable and happy. It's all relative. But the idea is that being in the rat race is more of a mindset. It's more of a place of feeling stuck than it is a place of feeling free. When you're in the flow of having a good, successful business, one of the things that happens is that you start to define things for yourself. What would be success for you? For example, at this point, I would like a bigger house, but I don't really want a mansion. I've had a big house before, and I kind of don't want the house where I have extra rooms that I buy furniture for and then they need cleaning and I forget where I've left things. That's just not what I want right now. So my definition of success is smaller. Define it for yourself. I want to grow my business. We are attracting a big international client. That's pretty good. I'm happy. We're growing, and we're growing at a pace that I'm happy with. We're not multimillionaires, and that would be great, but I think it would be great. Maybe it would be great. I mean, it's interesting to me that people like Bill Gates retire kind of thing and just dedicate themselves, there's that word, dedicate, to spending the money, to giving the money to really good charities or really good causes kind of thing. I don't know whether or not that's what I want to do. Actually, right now, it's not. So success really needs to be defined by you. We have an image of what success is, and we have an idea of what a successful business or entrepreneurship would be. And so part of Ocean's answer is really relative to his definitions of success. So ask yourself what you want out of your entrepreneurial business, because the answer really lies far more in, do you know what your dedication is? Are you so dedicated that you meet the qualifications we talked about earlier? And in that case, make sure that you're positioned and marketed well, because that makes a huge difference. You can market something that isn't that good. I mean, we've all bought something that we thought was not a very good product, for example, or service, and we're like, okay, I'm not doing this again, I'm not buying this again, but we bought it the first time because it was marketed well. So that has a lot to do with it. If people don't know about what you offer, For example, they may never know that there are unique shells found by owls. Maybe my friend Ocean here flies to islands that most people don't fly to and finds amazing shells, right? There's a different marketing angle. So make sure that if this is what you want to do, and if you qualify as a dedicated entrepreneur and you market yourself well, then figure out what success means to you. Because getting out of the rat race can be more about feeling empowered, feeling like an entrepreneur who's doing what they want to do, who's doing what they're dedicated to, than it is about reaching a certain amount of sales or having a certain size home, that kind of thing. Maybe being an abundant person has more to do with feeling abundant and feeling successful than it does have to do with reaching societal definitions of either. So I know that that's helped Ocean, right? And I want to thank Ocean for joining Oberon and I today. It was quite the pleasure. And thank you for joining us. If you have any questions, anything that you would like Oberon and I to address in future videos about business or about getting your life in the flow, please be sure to post down below. And I'll either answer your questions or I'll dedicate a video to your question or comment. Thank you so much for questioning and commenting. Please be sure to subscribe and join our email list so that you can catch more information that we send on our email list, offerings, and so that you're also aware of future videos.